We welcome you to Lakeview, Connecticut, where the Budweiser Cup Series opts for more road course action, and what no better place than the simple yet deceptive 1.3 or 1.53 mile facility titled Lime Rock Park, and what should be an exciting event for the fallen Kyle Busch 150. That was the last second name change. So, once qualifying just ended, but before we go to happy hour, take a look at the point standings. 10 races down, got Loa Chanor leading the points still. Well, not still, she just took it back. But Hector Garcia still in close proximity, second place, only 4 points behind. It'll be Jukushu Nome third at points, Von Fisher fourth, Friesen fifth. While majority of that top 10 remain unchanged, as this point in the season where we start getting settled in. So, qualifying solar reminds me to take a look at the grid. In the lab on pole, who is surprised? This man is going to likely get his third road course win this season after winning the first two. Tyler Aziz will join him on the front row. Then it's Skylar Den and Kirsten Bell, row 2. Daniel Silla and Hector Garcia, row 3. Jukushu Nome and Cooper Wall, row 4. With Bowen Fisher and Noah Chernoy, your points leader. Starting from row 5, and those are the only 10 cars to compete. Small field, but it's manageable at this point. So, like I mentioned, 9-second change to the race title after yesterday's loss. The Kyle Busch 150, Lime Rock, and majority of the field has opted for some sort of Kyle Busch livery. Talazzi swapped over to the number 5 for this week when Busch was a part of Hendrick Motorsports. Got Daniel Silla with the 3G livery, ran in this RCR in his RCR days. Lord Trenor got the 2015 winning Crispy M&M's car. I believe Skylden and someone else are the only other people not to make a Kyle Busch tribute livery. Which, if you go into any league, it's going to be annoying, yes, but it's just the fandom of NASCAR mourning the loss of a truly competitive driver. Kirsten Bell, 99 car, she normally drives a 29, but this number change is in reference to when Kyle Busch debuted in the NASCAR Truck Series in 2001. Finished 9th place in his debut race at Indianapolis Raceway Park. And that's fun. Dan Lau just up the road from her. And he's got the Hendrick Cars livery for when he was at Busch backing in the Truck Series for Aspire. Here he is, Juko Shinome. I got the beautifully well-crafted livery, the 2008 COT Snickers livery. V badge and the 51, much like he normally drives. Chris Shinome, that is, but also a prominent number that Kyle Busch used to run. And I believe that's everyone. Hector Garcia hasn't joined the track, but he's not running a livery. Neither is Bone Fisher, I believe. So those are the only 3 cars. Fisher, Garcia, and Den. The only 3 out of this 10-car grid to not run a tribute livery of sorts. So Budweiser is going to doing it tonight, and for BPNR when they return for their doubleheader at Michigan, they have not only rebadged their stuff for the Kyle Busch stuff, but have changed their race distance. But we'll go to that when race week for them comes. But for now, it is race time. Make sure everything on my end is correct and operating before we go. So 10 cars set to grid up. And it's going to be a pretty long run for Lime Rock standards. There's wait for one more, I believe. I think it's just me, but I don't feel like it.
Drivers, start your engines!
They are already yelling at me, the race admins are, in the TeamSpeak. Shrimply cry about it. So today's race is going to be 49 laps due to the server issues. And the server was brought up late, so they shortened the race distance just a little bit. 2x spare, and they nearly wreck. CTS cut physics, sorry, not CTS. And points of no return. 4 to go. Point this the correct way. Pace car shall head in. Is going to be road course dominant. Lane Lau versus Tyler Aziz, who will lead us to the green flag. We're waiting for the green flag, which usually comes out pretty late, but here we go at Lime Rock. And already nearly a hit to the rear bumper Aziz to Lane Lau into turn 1. I was gonna have a demo lap, but unfortunately I lost that media, and I didn't have time to prepare it or recreate it, so they go through turn 3 now. and left-hander, and then real creatively the right-hander for turn 4. Go down Paul, Newman straightaway, a little bit of a curve, nice curve in the middle of it, not classified as turns, but the uphill corner turn 5 is, and just look at the air they'll get, lots of flying cars as they approach turn 6, the west bend, and downhill the most deceptive corner of this race course, turn 7. And after 7 corners, 1.5 miles, is going to be Lana Lau leading opening lap, Kirsten Bell in 2nd, and Talaziz in 3rd. With Garcia, believe he topped practice. He's certainly got the hot lapping speed if it ever comes down to it. But as for strategy, it's oh boy, usually you can go like 20 laps here, but given that it's nearly 50, I personally suggest doing 2 tires and just do a little bit of pushing if you want to stay in touch with these leaders. That last straggler is the Cooper Wall trailing last. Well, Lano continues to blow away. Gonna be a challenge for 2nd place across the stripe. Kirsten Bell having to put Aziz on the non-dominant line. She overshoots the corner and she'll lose more than 2nd place. And she's going to spin, just narrowly avoiding those tires at the runoff area of turns 1 and 2. So that promotes Hector Garcia, the biggest benefiter of that scrap. He goes up to 2nd place. Aziz will remain in 3rd place. It'll be Scarlet Den following suit in 4th. That 13 doesn't get a good line. He's gonna smack the wall at the turn 7 exit. And you really gotta be careful at the downhill corner, turn 7. If you go offline or you misjudge the exit, you're gonna leave the corner with a pretty wrecked up race car. So after overshooting the corner, Kirsten Bell rejoins the track in 9th, and the 48 is actually DNF'd already, so retirement number 1 of the day, Bone Fisher. Boricilla, who I don't suspect is a necessarily a good road course racer, but I haven't seen him be a wrecking ball. He just kind of exists. And right now, he's already doing himself a big favor and being in 5th place. But that, unless he were to overshoot the corner, which he almost did, as soon as I speak of him. So while Lyles pulls away, group of 2 trying to chase him, looking to be a group of 3 for 4th, and another group of 3 with Shunome, Bell, and Cooper Wall in that gaggle for 7th. A little sideways, this is 56. Don't want to get sideways at the uphill, especially on exit. You see Lau trying diamonding the corner, kind of like a double apex corner, turns 1 and 2 to Big Bend. That's a common line to run at those set of corners. We do have a car off, I heard. But I don't find them, so oh well. As he just really caught up to Lau this lap alone. It pretty much cut down the distance between him and the 16.5. And is now taking up the rear view mirror of Landon Lyles. Garcia being in 3rd right now doesn't surprise me. He ran very well last season at Watkins Glen. And Miley has his own issues at Chicago Pier. And right now being in third, still in touch with the lead group, and has proven to himself that he can be as fast as them given practice times. He is certainly playing his cards right by just staying behind them for the top two for the time being. Let them use up their tires. And last second again, so last second laps will go on board with number 8, Hector Garcia. Car number 8, the most recent number Kyle Busch drove in the Cup Series. And while Garcia isn't running a Kyle Busch throwback, that number 8 holds dear to the Richard Childress family. During that, there was one car off, and that is a heavily damaged 42 car. That's Cooper Wall coming downhill in a literal sense. He finds the pit lane, and that'll be retirement number 3 actually, as Daniel Silla has just retired before him for a tire failure. Maybe a move for second. It's not an ideal place for Garcia versus Aziz, but he looks to be getting a run. Pokes his nose inside, but Aziz holds firm and will keep second place for the time being. I say the lap 8 silent lap was a last second call. There will be another one at lap 18. That one I was gonna do, but I was told otherwise. Like, literally as the leaders were going to the downhill corner. So my apologies for that last second incident. And speaking of incidents, that is car 18, Lord Chenor bouncing off the wall, tire pack, turn number 4, the right-hander. He gets it going. Assuming she stays on track, much like with Garcia, will ride on board with her for the lap 18 silent lap. Look at Garcia, he's going the long way around through turns 1 and 2, trying to put himself in a better position for turn 3, but he cannot stay side by side with the 5 of Tala Aziz. And miraculously, Cooper Wall has just gotten going. I saw the engine smoking from the 42, and man, more props to him. Not a quitter by any means. Oh, we got a challenge here. Aziz has a better run through turn 7. He's gonna look outside. Oh, Garcia look to his outside. He gets a little blindsided. Nearly goes off the corner into the grass, but he keeps it on the road. And Aziz is forced to reconcile that position once more. So top 3 remain unchanged. Lau, Aziz, Garcia. And it's a little ways back with Kirsten Bell. We saw her battle for second. Ended up spinning, but she's back up to 4th place. Skyridan in 5th, Lord Chenor in P6, Mishuno made 7th, Cooper Wall 8th, and those are the only 8 cars left on the track, as Daniel Silla and Bone Fisher are out of the race. Big block by Lando Lyle down the front straightaway. And once again forces Aziz to make a move the long way around from the outside. Garcia once again behind the 5 car, launching it into turn 1, nearly going off the grass. He's really testing the limits of the braking zone into turn 1. Like, Liebrock is just a hard place to overtake, as we've been seeing, so Lando Lyle has been able to lead every lap from pole position. And that's just saying something with how aggressive the 16 car is blocking Aziz, even with a better run like that. He goes off into the grass on exit, opens up the door for Garcia to move into second. And once again, lunge it, stop the car. He keeps on the road, but he's still side by side. Now the roads are inverse, but the 8 has the preferred line through turn 3 and will be able to establish himself into second place. Well, everyone else is spread out, so we might as well just stay with these 3 until the siren lap. Oh. Oh, Garcia washes up, so does Aziz, and he's gonna go around. The number 5, Dallas, he's spinning at the downhill, turn 7, real blind spot. Thankfully, no one's close enough to have to take evasive action, but at 5, Abdelaziz goes spinning, and it's going to be only down to 2 cars for the race lead. It's up to Hector Garcia to dethrone Lando Lyle's impressive road course streak he has going in the Budweiser Cup Series. So miraculously, I thought Aziz would pit just now, like, just mitigate as little time as possible, but he goes for another lap. Unsure what the plan is. Oh, that is facing backwards in the grass. Because Cooper Wall now, he's gonna try to spin in the round. He is perpendicular in awkward spots. Gotta wait a few people. Houston Bell's up next. Oh, is it gonna be a hit? It's going to be a caution. And Houston Bell just slams into Cooper Wall. Real unfortunate at turn 7. It is raced back to the line. And right now Garcia is not close enough to land him out to challenge for the lead. Into turn 6, the incident has been cleared out. 42 back down to the pit lane. Garcia is closing, but it will not be enough. It's going to be Lando Lyle winning the race back. Garcia second, and is a little ways back before you find Aziz, who gets a really big break after his spin at turn 7 a couple laps ago. He'll get to the line and maintain 3rd place. And the first caution of the night in the Budweiser Cup Series from Limerock. It was a heavy incident that was just miscommunication on a few parts. Trying to find a good angle for... Okay, so we'll just go on board with Cooper Wall, since I can't find a good camera angle of his spin. But yeah, he dips it into the dirt at the west bend, and he goes spinning. Originally, he did a good job of just staying in the grass, let the leaders go, but honestly, with how much open space, he should have went left. And now he is in a really bad spot. Now he's perpendicular, he's gonna have to first when he has to wait on Aziz. And here comes Kirsten Bell downhill. Oh, It just parked it in the racing line. Seeing that Bell was coming, didn't want to be unpredictable, but this really sucks. And understandably, Kirsten Bell is not happy with Cooper Wall. So that'll force everyone down the pit lane, and unfortunately, we're gonna have to take our side lap under caution, as we'll get on board with Lord Chenor. Okay, like, I won't take the entire lap, because that would be boring. We're just gonna just say that it did happen, but number 18, for Kyle Busch, the most infamous number he drove in his time in the Cup Series, where he won his 2 championships with Joe Gibbs Racing. As much as I dislike the 2015 championship, that was more because of the hate for the playoff format, but for Kyle Busch during that year, he came back from an injury and started popping off in race wins like nothing ever happened at Daytona. We're going to have to take an extra lap, unfortunately, so because Kirsten Bell's a bum. So he saw the race off the pit lane, it'll be Garcia who won off the pit lane against Lane Lau, only narrowly though. It'll be Aziz maintaining third, Tronor fourth, and Kirsten Bell will go down the pit lane to fix her issues. So will the aid of Hector Garcia surrendering the race lead, which is an interesting call. Because we're about going green with 30 to go. I don't think the fuel, let alone tires, can make it. So that just say I'm questioning that call because we've been seeing it during the first stints, but it's Lime Rock has always been about track position, and Lana Lau has just been gifted back the race lead. Tyler Aziz is gonna have to make a move on him to get clean air, and that pushed the tires. But Bell's back on track, Garcia's catching back up, so we are set to go green. So to catch you up, only had 3 retirements so far, and we are under the first caution period of the day. The Cooper wall being the reason for the caution. Get put in a bad spot at the downhill corner and got clobbered by Kirsten Bell. And Daniel Silla, the second retirement, tire failure, and William Fisher had an accident somewhere that we did not capture. So we're set to go green. It'll be Lana Lau in the Spire Motorsports Kyle Busch Tribute livery, leading us to the green. Pretty much picking up where he left off. We're back on the way, and Tyler Aziz already jumps the gun. He's got his nose underneath, but he's going to back off. Meanwhile, for third, Janora getting blindsided by Skylar Den. He'll move up to third. Garcia follows and looks to take third place for himself at turn 3. And a 18 car just did not get going on this restart, getting pushed up wide at turn 4 by Kirsten Bell. So from 3rd to 6th, the 18 car just did not get a good restart. We're hopping away at the backstretch. And Lionel continues to lead from pole position. Kyle Busch's final truck start, it was at Dover, where he pretty much had a Grand Slam weekend. Was fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying. He won both stages, got the fastest lap of the race, and won the race. And that just true Kyle Busch domination before we lost him so soon. And while I don't believe Lau was fastest in qualifying from today, he did win pole, hasn't led every lap, nor is there any stages here, but we might as well check fastest lap. He does not have the fastest lap currently, as we're about to complete 21 laps here. That goes to Hector Garcia currently, with the 16 dipping his toes into the grass. That allows Aziz to close in. The best thing Aziz can do is just put the pressure on Lyle, just force him to overdrive the corner ever so slightly. It just forced Lyle into a mistake. And Lyle already has 2 road course wins this season at both road course events this season in the Budweiser Cup Series. First was at the defunct Riverside in California, where he had a hard charging Jack Mirko closing on him, but it was maybe needed an extra lap for Lyle to slip up. At Chicago Pier, meanwhile, he was untouched. He just kept chugging at his own pace and pulled away from everyone into an easy victory there in the Windy City. But this is, from what I know, based on that knowledge, this is the most opposition Lionel has faced in the road course events, and more opposition than the 2 races combined. Check back here, that is Shunuma nearly spinning, but he keeps it under control. Did we just lose another one? Yep, that's Kirsten Bell out of the race, so really unfortunate. But in the debut livery for Kyle Busch's truck season in 2001. Just nothing really had gone her winter way, so yeah, after that collision with the 42, she did remain on track, but she believed the damage was too substantial to keep up with the top 3, so it is what it is. So that makes retirement number 4. That leaves 6 left on the race course, and half of those 6 are within picture. These 3 have been fun to watch all race so far, as we're about to reach the halfway point. We'll meet that at the halfway point of this lap. Lionel has led all but 1 lap. I believe that was because Hector Garcia opted to pit, or maybe Garcia didn't lead the lap now I think about it. So regardless, Lionel easily leads the most laps, but here comes Aziz. Gonna try the outside of the uphill corner. 16 gets into the curb, and that will allow the 5 to soar on his left side and take the race lead. We finally have a new race leader. So now you know what it's like to be up front. Now you see, now you get to see how the 16 will retake the lead. There goes Garcia on his left, overshooting the corner massively, and he's going to chip the tire barrier. Now he'll keep the car going. We do have another spinner that being Lord Chenor. Just not had the day she wanted, especially after that restart. A slider at the uphill. Here comes Landolau. Guys, those are the knees. It's going to be really sketchy, but the 16 lets the 5 go. When knowing that he can't necessarily go side by side without risking a wreck from both of them. Well, is it fair for these two to be pushing each other to their physical limits? Especially on these tires? We went green with 30 to go, so that will mean at least a one stop. And ideally, because of the track position, you split it down the middle, 15 laps. And we're about halfway through this stint. Garcia, despite the spin, has gotten back up to pace, maintains third. And he, I believe, just set the fastest lap of the race. Yes, he did just now, a 50.66. Next fastest will be the 16 line allow, 50.8. And Tyler Z's your race leader, only a smidge slower in third place. And with the A pushing his stuff, he's didn't necessarily kill his tires, but he certainly lost a lot of time by going into the runoff a couple laps ago. So he's putting the hammer down just to at least stay in touch with the top two. And I believe Lau right now is just pretty much experiencing what Aziz and Garcia had to bear with when he was in control of the race. You just can't find a place to pass. Like, the only good braking zone to make an overtake is at turn 1. The rest of the track, you kind of just have to follow them. Unless you're telling Aziz who managed an outside pass at turn 5, but I just despise. I can't speak, but 16 nearly shoving the 5 at West Bend, but no contact is made. So in terms of lap times, Aziz was the fastest, faster than Lau, but Garcia is faster than both of them. We're setting 3/10 faster than Aziz. So he is wanting to close in, currently in 2 seconds. And looks to rejoin the fight for the lead. What did you do? Well, we're gonna see what Shinomi did since he's begging for me to do it. That was not worth it. And you admit that I'm gonna blame you, Shinomi, for making me do that. Because we also missed a slip up for once and land allowed. I'll just nearly chips the guardrail at turn 7. That's what gave him a substantial amount of driver's side damage. And gonna have to stay side by side with Garcia. in which I believe he loses that position ultimately. Yes, he does. Back live. It's gonna be Garcia up to second. So that Landau is showing his cracks. His cracks are showing. So will he pit early to get himself back in front? So 31 laps complete of 49 at Lime Park. Tyler Z is your race leader. It'll be Garcia second. Landau, the dominant driver of the day, in third. Skyridan not too far back in fourth place. Lochinor on the front straightaway now in fifth. Shinome P6. And there's going to be the only 6 cars left on track, as the others have retired. Garcia loses second over to Landau, and we also should expect a number 5 down the pit lane. This is a very tricky pit lane because you don't got a lot of room to work with, and it's just right around the corner. And worst of all, you gotta go 35 miles per hour, very abysmally slow. It's just my personal gripe with this 2013 version of Lime Park. It's pretty much any other Lime Park. It's just the pit lane entry. It's just not safe. Like, I don't know how else to put it. It's just really sketchy all around. So these pits 32 into what?
Drivers, to your cars.
So the race restarted? Question mark. Oh boy. So I'm just as confused as y'all are. Okay, so
Drivers, to your cars.
one of the admins might have hit the restart race button. The one button you shouldn't hit in any given session, especially this deep into the race. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the order in the correct order, the lap where Aziz was going to pit. So whenever Aziz was in the lead, just prior to pitting, he will be reinstated in the lead just to not screw him over, and will restart with 17 to go, from my understanding.
Drivers, start your
So unfortunately for the drivers, that is the first 32, 33 laps are lost media. Apart from this stream, of course. And yep, that was a misinput from Shunome. Bozo. So technically they are in the correct order, so we could go green. Unless Talha wants the inside. not gaining much info regarding the race end. So we wait for the green flag, and was technically the second car should be really bizarre circumstances, but we are back on the way. And that now, in a sportsman-like manner, going to give back the lead to Aziz, despite him having the preferred line through turn 1. It's going to be Garcia, who was stuck in the outside, also on the restart, goes to 3rd, crashes a little wide in 3, and gets an awful entry into 4. As a result of that, Dan had a look, but couldn't make the move. We'll beat Trenor sideways, cutting a little bit of the uphill corner, but she's already 5th. So Aziz back in front, and, well, I suppose for the admins who need the fastest lap, my best point of reference is Garcia, who stood at 50.6 during the first 32 laps. In case no one sets a better lap time in this run. So the admins will call 5 to go, and there'll be points of no return for them. So I don't know if that still doesn't give a clear answer, whether it be lap 12 or 13 when that does. Well, as soon as I speak of that, so we're going to the end of 18. I'm just gonna use that context clues in. Just say it's the end of 18. I don't know. I'm confused as y'all are. So while these two still battle for the lead, Garcia waits in the wings. It'll be Skydan also being beneficial of also in the long shot with a fresh car, much like everyone else. So if I'm correct, this is 15 to go now. And because it's an 18 lap run, in theory you shouldn't need another pit stop now. At least that's from my presumption on tire wear and such. The only person who still isn't having much luck is Trenor, just hasn't been able to keep up, and well. And there's a confirmation, lap 18, the end of 18, conclusion of the race. So we're going to lap 18. So this is 15 to go, coming to 14 now. And still Aziz in front. Lanlau in second, Garcia third. He just improved his lap, so never mind the first 32 laps. This is pretty much the fastest lap now. A 50.58. And much to Lyle's dismay, is pretty much put himself back in the position where he didn't want to be, just stuck behind the 5 car. No matter what move he tries making, that 5 car is able to cover him off. At the downhill, the 16 didn't get a good run. And he's gonna have to remain behind the 5, entering turn 1. Pretty much identical lines, while Garcia is just doing his own thing. Aziz has won Richmond with the pressure of Frieza Rodriguez, so he's used to that kind of pressure. Just won BPNR's Coca-Cola 150 and overtime drama. And looks like it win number 2 this season, dethroning the road course king of Landalau, who's sliding it at the exit of 7, still can't develop a run. We'll see if he throws it in. He does not. First gear through turns 1 2. It is possible, but it's preferred for high lapping. Meanwhile, the 5 of Aziz opting to continue using second gear through turns 1 and 2, just saves himself tires. A little bit of blinking, that's just that random server moment. Yeah, that bunch to talk about, unless Landalau makes a lunge, or if Skylarden wants to make something happen for third, and likewise for Garcia for second. Aziz still leads. Pretty much been the driver to talk about in this second half. That was weird. That's just Brandon doing random things, but in the air, you look to be side by side, but cannot get side by side. Still, into turn 6. Garcia with a little bit of a wobble going downhill. And nothing too drastic. He did put in faster lap just now, at least compared to these two, so he is learning something off them. And Skyrim in 4th place, just neutral with the 8 car, and likewise faster than the 2 leaders currently. Now 5 washes up, because of the exit. Not allowed run up on exit, so that Aziz is able to cover him off. And not close enough, still. Oh, that's a big smack for Aziz, and also for Lanlau, who gets into the tire barrier on the inside pit wall at the Sam Posey straightaway. And that is a retirement for B16 of Lanlau. He won't pull, and unfortunately, he won't go out with a win. Finally dethroning him. But he likely followed Aziz, and that just spelled disaster. We can't necessarily look at it right now, because Garcia now is promoted to 2nd place, and is still within striking distance. He's got 8 laps to go as they cross the line. But Skyrim had his own issues. He was with Garcia neutrals and lap times, and now suddenly they're down 2 seconds. We're at 10 seconds, where it was 2 seconds, but down to 10 seconds. As the 13 crosses the line, promotes himself to 3rd place. So with 10 cars that started the race, we're down to 4. 20 finisher likely, Lortranor, that won't get the podium. When I say this track is deceptively easy, I was not joking about the deceptive part. It looks really easy, but it will spit you. Chew you and spit you out if you don't respect this place. So again, it's these one at Richmond. Garcia looking for win number 2 this season as well. He able to fend off Frieza Rodriguez at Texas for his first Budweiser Cup season, so both of the top two had to fend off Frieza Rodriguez one way or another. He's not here tonight, but he'll have to do away with the runner-up streak he's been developing. Just giving another reason to slander him. So Aziz was a little bit faster than Garcia and is continuing to be the case, but not necessarily pulling away from him. Garcia has just been able to stay in his shadow, just running with whatever line Aziz is doing. And that's how he got past the slap in practice. Sideways down the Paul Newman straight. Trying to do anything to get himself in striking distance of Aziz. Currently separated by roughly 3 car lengths. Five to go. It is the point of no return. But Garcia still mimicking what Aziz is doing. The 18 Ultra Noir is 18 Ultra Noir pitting. And I'd like to improve her position at this point unless Skyrim were to die or just someone. But she still gets a good point stay, not as much as Garcia though. But the 8 and 18, the 2 championship threats here in this league. But as of late, Garcia has just been on it. I have to say that it's not 3 to go. Just giving me mixed signals. Which is the admins in game chat. Oh, I think that was an engine failure for Garcia. He's just billowing smoke down the front straightaway. I don't know, he's still going at relatively normal pace, but he's at 54. He's still going. But I think either my NR at a moment, it sometimes can do that where it just builds smoke for a car randomly. But I've only seen that in practice. This is in the race session. And yeah, that number 8 cannot get out of third gear. And it's just continuing to lose time to Aziz, and finally he's gonna go down the pit lane. Or he's gonna pull over and just call it a day. Really sucks for Garcia. But he's going to, at very minimum, get out of here with a 4th place finish. Yep, a header issue. So, congratulations, Laura Trenor. You get a podium place. So, with that bizarre moment, it is Tyler Aziz's race to lose at this point. Lyle wrecked himself. The 8 has an engine failure. And it is 2 to go at turn 6. And he goes downhill. 1.5 miles to go. final lap in the year for Tyler Aziz. It was Landon Lau who was looking to win 3 in a row at the road courses. But the impression that Aziz and Garcia were able to put on him ultimately made him fold. Then it was Garcia's turn to make a move on Aziz. Unfortunate RNG failure took him out of the running in the closing laps. Aziz has one win at Richmond, and this time, again, pretty much late drama. It's going to be Tyler Aziz out of turn 7. He's going to win at line mark in the Kyle Busch number 5 Kellogg's Chevrolet. Coming to the line now with a blown tire, I believe. That's Skylar in second. And 1 lap down. She's going to cross the line still in the podium place. Man. Just so much happened, yeah, we can't necessarily look back at it. The one thing I do want to look back at, though, is the wreck that took Lan Lao out of the race. So we're right on board with him. And this was lap, lap 9 in the game, but pretty much 10 to go. Coming to 9. And yeah, pretty much right. And that was pretty much what I alluded to. Just he followed Aziz and just hit the guardrail, but ended up in a awkward angle. There's no way to recover at that point, and that's all she wrote. So might as well, if my thing wants to work, take a look at the unofficial race results. Aziz wins. It'll be Skyred in second, Lochinor third. The only 3 cars to finish the race, as fourth is Hector Garcia, Lamelo in fifth, and because of server shenanigans, we do not have the rest of the order. But if I'm correct, if I'm trying to remember, now I think about it. Let me think about it, actually. I believe it was Shunome because he just felt bad about hitting the reset button on accident. Then it was Kirsten Bell. Then it was Cooper Ball and Ace, Daniel Silla, and Bowen Fisher. Those are your top, remaining in the top 10. All of them also DNFing. Well, that was a race of all time. I don't have much more to say about it. So we do have one interview. That being Lochinor, I'll get to her in just a second. And here we go.
User was moved to your channel.
Lochinor, do you got me?
I do, Victor. How are you doing today?
Well, it was a baffling race, especially towards the third quarter mark, but for you, while you weren't necessarily fast, you overcame the chaos, and what should have been a pretty abysmal finish ended up being a third place finish.
Yeah, all it really was just surviving and having some luck. I just want to say first and foremost, rest in peace to Kyle Busch, and hope all of his family and friends are doing okay. I know I run the number 18 here, so I felt a lot of pressure today to perform, and even if I wasn't good most of the race, I'm glad I at least got a top 3 finish out of it. Hopefully, we maintain our points lead today. And again, just want to say one more time, just rest in peace to Kyle Busch. I grew up a Kevin Harvick fan. I had more than a few thoughts about him, but still one of the greatest of all time and in and out of the sport. So just thank you, Kyle Busch, and rest in peace.
Our condolences to the Bush family. But as for you, because Hector Garcia ended up DNFing earlier than what he would like because of an engine failure, you should be able to maintain the points lead at very minimum.
Yes, that's honestly surprising to me. I thought coming into it I would lose the points lead today. We only had like a very slim margin, and so I thought I was going to lose the points lead, and I almost even didn't even start this race because of some family issues. But we were able to run it, and luckily, hopefully, we'll maintain our points lead and just have hopefully continue to from here, and still have a good battle for the rest of the season.
Well, congratulations on your podium finish at Lime Rock. Thank you for joining me.
Of course, have a great rest of your night.
User disconnected from your channel.
Well, before I wrap up, I might as well give my take on Kyle Busch. I, much like Laura, I originally hated him because of just his attitude and all that, and a naive NASCAR fan thinking that Kyle Busch exploited the system in 2015, much like I alluded to during the pre-race stuff. But that hate kind of just dwindled down, especially in this decade where he just wasn't at his prime anymore. The peak Kyle Busch had already subsided, and he was just gonna ride it out with RCR. So yeah, it is what it is. It really sucks to lose him this early and this abrupt also. Like, he was 41, which is really baffling. And yeah, what he was able to accomplish in the 21 years question mark in the Cup Series, that's just astounding. And that's not even mentioning what records he has upholded in the lower divisions. Just the top three national series altogether are what makes him a talent of NASCAR for generations to come. Whenever Brexit does make his way to the Cup Series, or just in the National Series in general, I will certainly be at his side. It just really sucks for him, especially just losing his dad 3 days after his birthday. I feel sorry for the guy. But he'll hopefully push forward and carry the number 8 whenever he gets to the Cup Series. Coming up in NR2003 Online, currently ongoing, the NR All-Star Race at Daytona using the 87 cars with really slicky setups that was utilized for the summer shootout that CSA was hosting. That will be on G Spoon Media if you want to take a look at it. Tomorrow, I was spreading misinformation. 10. IFAR is not running Talladega tomorrow, but rather next Saturday. But OSCC is still tomorrow, regardless. So you get at least one Talladega race, and that will continue to be the case next Saturday. So two Talladegas races and Saturday nights, 2 consecutive. I don't know what I'm trying to speak. And because DSRA is off, that leaves Monday up for Cars and the Revival Tour. They'll go to their second race of the season at Auto Club. Next Friday, it will be Indianapolis Raceway Park short track action. Assuming Talha wants to race that should be in his wheelhouse. That'll be next Friday on the 29th, streamed here per the usual. And that will pretty much conclude my week of streaming. Next time I stream, well, actually, since BPNR is off, that leaves us with no stream until next Friday. So, until then, thank you for watching. As really strange this race was. We mourn the loss of Kyle Busch, and we shall see you next Friday.